For years, we've been haunted by the horrors of Jeffrey Epstein's private island. But with the recent release of investigative files, it's clear the reality was so much weirder than we ever imagined.
The stories of abuse are stomach-churning, but the island's bizarre buildings and the secrets they held point to something else entirely.
Getting these files wasn't like being handed a neat report. It was like having a truck dump a mountain of shredded paper on your lawn and being told the truth is buried in there somewhere. Thanks to this massive dump of documents and new photos, we're finally getting a real look inside those strange structures on LittleSaintJames. But to understand what the files just revealed, you first have to understand the fortress Epstein built to hide it all. Jeffrey Epstein bought the 75-acre island in the US Virgin Islands back in 1998 and immediately began turning it into a sprawling, intensely private compound that locals would come to call Pedophile Island and the Island of Sin. This was never just a vacation home. It was a fortress built for total secrecy and control. Getting there was a production. High-profile guests would fly into St. Thomas on one of Epstein's private jets, then get whisked away to the island in black helicopters.
All staff and supplies came and went on a boat named simply LSJ. Once you were on the island, you were completely cut off. That isolation wasn't just a feature, it was a weapon, like being on a spaceship where the captain holds the only key to the airlock.
In one terrifying account, a 15-year-old girl allegedly tried to swim to freedom, only to be caught and brought back. Epstein controlled all communication off the island, and his employees were forced to sign strict NDAs that explicitly banned them from talking to law enforcement.
This wall of silence was so complete that in 2018, when officials from the US Virgin Islands tried to get on the island, Epstein himself met them at the dock and told them no, calling it his front door. He was treating a US
territory like his own private country, and for years, nobody stopped him. Until now. In late 2025 and early 2026, everything changed.
Thanks to the EpsteinFiles Transparency Act, the government released over 3.5 million pages of documents, including thousands of videos and images. On top of that, the House Oversight Committee released photos and documents on September 2, 2025, from a 2020 US
Virgin Islands investigation. This process has been like panning for gold. For years we've had rumors, but now we have the actual riverbed to sift through, trying to separate the tiny nuggets of proven fact from the mountains of gravel. So, what are the most shocking new takeaways? First, the famous names. They are everywhere. We now have confirmation of emails between Epstein and Elon Musk, discussing potential visits to the island back in 2012 and 2013.
In one email, Musk apparently asked, "What day-night will be the wildest party on your island?" While there's no proof he ever went, the friendly tone is hard to miss. The files also contain emails where Epstein makes unverified claims about Bill Gates.
And then you have the photos. The collection includes images of Epstein with a staggering list of public figures, including former President Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Mick Jagger. Being mentioned or pictured doesn't automatically mean wrongdoing, but these connections are like a spider's web. Just because someone touches a single strand doesn't mean they're the spider, but it shows just how vast and sticky the network truly was. Second, the island's just plain weird interior.
The photos released by the House Oversight Committee finally give us a look inside, and it is deeply unsettling. One set of pictures shows a room with a dentist's chair, its walls covered in grotesque 3D masks of men's faces.
Another photo shows a library or office with 4 big armchairs crammed together in a confrontational circle. On a chalkboard in that same room, someone had scrawled the words power, deception, truth, and music. These details aren't rumors anymore. They're confirmed by law enforcement photos. But while we now have proof of these disturbing rooms, there was one building on the island that remained the biggest mystery of all, the one place the official cameras couldn't get inside. Third, there's the infamous temple. That strange blue and white striped building with the golden dome has been the source of the wildest speculation. For years, people have claimed it had a grand piano, special acoustics for rituals, and even a painting of Epstein with the Pope. Let's be clear. The newly released files do not have photos from inside the temple that confirm any of those sensational details. We only have photos of its bizarre and imposing exterior. The temple remains a total black box. It's as if the files gave us a detailed map of the entire island. But this one building is just a huge, dark square in the middle, leaving its purpose a mystery fueled only by witness accounts. This case is a maze of rumors, half-truths, and closely guarded secrets. Sticking to the facts and the actual documents is more important than ever. If you appreciate this kind of evidence-based breakdown, take a second to hit the like button and subscribe.
It tells the platform you want to see more deep dives like this, and it makes a huge difference for the channel. Perhaps the most frustrating part of this whole thing is what's not in the files.
This wasn't the clean, simple client list everyone was hoping for. Expecting a neat list was like hoping for a dictionary, but what we got was millions of pages torn out of thousands of different books, with most of the key sentences blacked out with heavy redaction.
On January 30th, 2026, the DOJ announced this was the final release of documents, totaling around 3.5 million pages. Critics were quick to point out that the government had originally identified over 6 million potentially relevant pages, leading to accusations that we're still not getting the full story. The files do confirm the structure of an absolutely horrifying operation. A draft indictment from the mid-2000s, found in the release, laid out 30 criminal counts against Epstein, including sex trafficking and conspiracy. It details how Epstein and his assistants would allegedly pay victims to go out and recruit other minors. But the redactions leave huge holes. Names like Trump and Clinton appear thousands of times, but the context is often like finding a single word in a heavily censored letter.
You see the name, but you have no idea what the full sentence was, making it impossible to draw real conclusions. One file mentions an anonymous victim who claimed Ghislaine Maxwell introduced her to Donald Trump at a party, but the document is so blacked out that it's just a fragment of a story. These documents don't give us a neat list of names and what they did. Instead of a finished photograph, they've given us a million-piece puzzle, but thousands of the pieces are either missing or have been intentionally painted black. They confirm the massive network, the chilling methods, and the insane access Epstein had to the most powerful people in the world. But they also make the mystery even deeper. What's in the millions of pages that haven't been released? These are the questions that keep everyone digging for the truth. So, after this massive document dump, where does that leave us? We've learned that the reality of LittleSaintJames was, in some ways, even stranger than the rumors.
We have photographic proof of bizarre rooms with dentist chairs and cryptic chalkboards. We have email confirmation of Epstein's attempts to lure powerful men like Elon Musk to his island.
And we have seen photo after photo of Epstein standing right next to the world's most influential people. But we've also learned that the truth is messy. It's not one single list. It's a tangled web of connections, allegations, and redacted files that still seem to protect the powerful. It's as if the files were designed to shine a spotlight only on Epstein, while the powerful figures in his orbit are left standing just outside the circle of light, their actions obscured. Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, but the network that let her and Epstein operate for decades is still hiding in the shadows. These files haven't closed the book on this story. They've just shown us how many pages are still missing. The island might be empty now, but its secrets are still being unearthed, one redacted page at a time. The central questions remain the same as they've always been. How did this go on for so long? And who else knew?